Let's go. Good morning, my friends. It's your old pal, PeaceLoveMusic, with another episode of the Let's Go Good Morning Show, brought to you live by DeOrganized Media in partnership with our amazing friends over at Bitcoin Live Decentralized Broadcasting. I forgot to put on my light. What day is it? It's Tuesday. It's just Tuesday. It was a long Monday yesterday, I'll tell you that. It's Tuesday, the 22nd of July. So much going on. I actually heard some update news about Powell maybe being recommended for charges or something. I gotta look more into it. But let's get the show going. It is Tuesday. There's so much happening in our space. Things are looking great. Friendly reminder: this is a news show. We're providing news and information, sometimes some entertainment, hopefully some education, but never financial advice. Always do your own research. Never invest money you cannot afford to lose. That being said, the numbers this morning, I'm a little bit behind. By the way, guys, before I even get to the numbers, it's really important. It helps us every day. Share out the live stream. It's very important. It helps us grow. It helps us continue to do this. And it makes sure that we are able to come collaborate, aggregate all the news information, and bring it to you on the daily so that you can stay informed and make your own decisions. That being said, I don't need to leave that up there. You guys know. The Chads know. They don't need to be reminded throughout the whole show. But I do see some friends in the audience too. I see you guys. I'll be bringing you on in a few minutes. I hope you can hang out. I'll introduce you after I get done with the news. So hang tight. Everything is right. Just hold tight. That old fish song. All right. In the numbers this morning, Bitcoin's coming in at 119, 115 as of about a half an hour ago. Stacks holding on at 85.2 cents. Holding on to the number 70 spot by market cap on CoinMarketCap. Fear and Greed Index coming in at 67, staying static at 67 in that greed range. And the top three gainers on CoinMarketCap for the last 24 hours are Quant. You hate this one. Fartcoin and Pi. When you stack your STX, earn BTC. SBTC is programmable Bitcoin for DeFi. Stacks has fast, low-fee transactions, proof of transfer security, and native Bitcoin rewards. Tell your friends. In the Stacks DeFi ecosystem, Hermetica is offering 16% yield on USDH with $5.7 million total value locked. You can DCA programmatically at Bitflow into Bitcoin, Stacks, Runes tokens, and more effortlessly at bitflow. DCA in and out, by the way, at bitflow.finance. And now you can drop all of your meme token pets at the Bitflow barn and earn yield in the pools, farming your Leo, your Bob, your Welsh. Head over to Bitflow now and participate. Velar Perpdex is live. Now you can long and short Bitcoin and Stacks over at Velar. You can also stake your Velar, pair your favorite tokens with SBTC, earn yield, and trade tokens on Velar. Protocol is a Bitcoin native DeFi protocol enabling cross-chain swaps, bridging, and payments in BTC. It connects Bitcoin to 20 plus chains. Zest is offering 3.98% on SBTC. The highest yield on Zest today is 40.03% on AUSD. Over at Stacking DAO, you can earn 9.42% on STX with STXDX, 9.83% native yield in BTC, or 9.14% with yield in SBTC. And the top three Stacks token gainers on STX tools today are Alex, BDC, and Rock Token. What is happening in the Stacks ecosystem today? I will tell you. My internet's not so slow. All right, great. So we had another great whatever morning space. Every morning we get the vibes going right with the DeOrganized Good Vibe Tribe. That's Binta and GP and the gang that comes in and joins us. Always a great time. Every Monday through Friday starting at 8 a.m. on that. We do our show here every Monday through Friday at 8:30. We run from 8:30 to 9:30 with all the news and some commentary about what's going on in the ecosystem. At 9:30, the game master Xenitron from Skullcoin joins us to play Find2Earn rounds, where we have 5 game rounds plus a jackpot round. There are whitelist rounds for new players to learn how to play, open rounds for the OGs, and opportunities to earn some Leo coin, Rue coin, Bitcoin, Pepe, the only Pepe coin you need to know about, FlatEarth, and STX AI token, and some stacks with the jackpot round, all provided to us by Skullcoin and Xenitron, the game master. At 10 a.m. is the Stacks DeFi show. That's every Tuesday at 10 a.m. with the Stacking DAO crew. Always a great place to get to know what is going on in the Stacks DeFi ecosystem. And then at noon is the Hermetica Hangout. The Hermetica Hangout is another great time. Great chads over from the Hermetica crew. Dave and the gang always bring some great conversation. At 1 p.m., we have Learn TA with Landy. We have gotten back on track now with 3 episodes in a row. We are rolling, and great stuff happening. If you're interested in learning TA and how to get your setups, make your plan, and all of that, tune in at 1 p.m. That series is also available, by the way, as a we have it all set up on YouTube, so you can go check the playlist on YouTube and catch up on all the series. I think there's like 22 or 23 episodes now. At 3 p.m. is Art on Stacks with Reese, GPSC 300, and the crew. Great time with the guys there, learning on what's building and developing in the Stacks art ecosystem. At 5:30, Dave's back at it with all things crypto. Great vibes there. Landy also joins him often with his group there. And then at 7 p.m. is the vibes, the know, get the news, get the information, catch the vibes with GPSC on the DeOrganized nightly show. And that's every Monday through Friday at 7 p.m. That is the DeOrganized media calendar today. And if you want to be on there, you head over to deorganized.media. It's a simple Stacks wallet connection. You just need to have a Stacks account, your Leather wallet, your Xverse wallet. You can connect with your Stacks wallet. It's just a simple signature. There's no funds transferred. Once you set up your account, you can add any shows you want to the schedule. We do have to approve them with our admins, but they're self-service. You add the shows, you add the episodes. Once it's on the schedule, every morning we read it out. So we will let our audience know what you have going on. You just head over to deorganized.media and set up your basic account. There's lots more functionality there, lots more functionality to come. So check us out at deorganized.media. And at the Stacks event calendar, just double checking. Nothing else extra on there today besides what we carry here on DeOrganized. So that is the events for the day. Moving on to the news. Maybe we'll pick up that coverage as soon as it. GP, give me a note when that's live, and I'll cut the news short. But we're going to run through the news and then maybe pick up Powell's news conference, because there's some interesting breaking news coming, and we want to make sure we're covering that. Oh, he's live now. Let's go to that. Actually, I'm going to bring that up.
Framework work together effectively. Doing so will help maintain a safe, sound, and efficient banking system for the benefit of the people we serve.
How's the audio on that?
The U.S. Bank Capital Framework includes risk-based capital requirements, leverage requirements, the surcharge for the largest and most complex banks, and the stress tests. We will discuss the status of each of those elements and the road ahead in a comprehensive manner today. As this audience will know well, we have proposals outstanding or in the works across all 4 areas. Our regulatory capital framework and all banking rules are implemented through supervision, an area where Vice Chair for Supervision Bowman brings deep experience as a former banker and state supervisor. As she has noted, we need to make sure that our supervisory practices focus on the critical areas that determine safety and soundness. We need our large banks to be well capitalized and to manage their key risks well. And we need large banks to be free to compete with one another, with non-bank financial institutions and with banks in other jurisdictions to provide capital and support economic growth. The Fed is a dynamic institution. We're open to hearing new ideas and feedback on how to improve the capital framework for large banks, and I look forward to hearing from today's participants. Thanks again to all of you for joining us today. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Chair Powell. Welcome, everyone. My name is Amol Vaidya. I'm sure I've been inundating your email box with Capital Conference 2025 emails for registration and logistics. I will go over a couple of quick housekeeping things, and we will start the next panel at 9 a.m. As you know, this is a secure building, so our colleagues in law enforcement do ask that you keep your badges on you at all times. If you need to step out for a moment, anyone who you see that does not have a badge on is Federal Reserve staff. They are part of our events team supporting this great event. They're happy to escort you to a coat room or step out to make a phone call. On that point, we do ask that you silence or put your cell phones on vibrate for the duration of this event. And with that said, we will get the next panel started at 9 a.m. Thanks so much.
I muted myself so I wouldn't be talking over the thing or having background noise. Duh, thank God. I realized what the hell was going on. Unfortunately, the private chat, when I open up that chat window, covers the mute button. Good morning, Anchor Murphy. Good morning, Kazan. Good morning, Pip, my brother. Back to the news, and we'll check in on coverage for Powell's speech and see what's going on with that after. See if there's any developing stories there. There was something that came out about him being charged or referred for charges to the DOJ this morning. What's up, DD? I love our community. I really do. We have such a mighty and growing group and getting more and more integrated and interconnected and engaged with each other on a regular basis. And I love that. I love that it's happening. I love facilitating it with you all on the daily basis. Trump Media and Technology Group, the parent company of Truth Social, has shifted roughly $2 billion of its $3 billion in liquid assets into Bitcoin. Good move, marking one of the largest corporate BTC allocations to date. The firm also invested $300 million in Bitcoin-linked options, signaling a long-term treasury strategy focused on crypto. The move coincided with a surge in Bitcoin's price, further highlighting the growing trend of corporate Bitcoin adoption as a treasury asset. JPMorgan Chase is reportedly exploring the possibility of offering loans secured by customers' Bitcoin and Ethereum holdings. If launched, the move would mark a significant expansion into digital asset-backed finance by a major U.S. bank. While still in exploratory stages, the strategy would allow high net worth clients to access liquidity without selling their crypto, echoing similar services already available at crypto native firms. MicroStrategy adds $739.8 million in Bitcoin continues to aggressive Bitcoin strategy. This latest purchase further strengthens the firm's position as the world's largest corporate Bitcoin holder. The company now holds over 200,000 BTC in total, representing a cornerstone of its treasury and investor strategy heading into Q3. That's nation state level, like major nation state level. That's what the U.S. is trying to hold right now, or convert to their Bitcoin strategy. So Saylor's way ahead of everybody else. I remember actually the bull run of 2020 when it started in the summer of 2020. Everyone was COVID ready. We had all of this money. Everyone was being given handouts. Like my kids were getting paid $1,000 a week to stay home from their, $200 a week part-time jobs. And Saylor was just like gobbling up Bitcoin at 10K that summer, and he hasn't stopped since then. And there was a long time during the bear market where it was, or as it was heading into the bear market, and he was still buying it. I was like, is this a bad strategy? Maybe it was, I thought at the time, but turns out if you're just buying and holding and you're doing it smartly and you're not investing money you cannot afford to lose, accumulating Bitcoin and holding on to it is the best strategy. Ethereum's price is hovering just below a key resistance band between 3,800 and 3,900, according to Glassnode data. Analysts view this range as a major battleground for bulls. If ETH can hold above $3,434 and break through resistance, technicals suggest a push towards $4,200 is possible. Market sentiment remains cautiously bullish as staking yields and L2 activity supports fundamentals. ETF flows on July 21st, Bitcoin spot ETFs experienced a net inflow of $363.5 million. BlackRock's IBIT led with an inflow of $496.8 million. That means the rest was net outflows. Ethereum spot ETF saw a total net inflow of $296.6 million on the same day. Fidelity's ETH, it's not ETH, it's FETH. Or maybe they changed it finally because FETH sounds terrible. Recorded the highest single day inflow of $112.3 million, followed closely by Bitwise AETH with $104.1 million in inflows. Those that have been living under a rock may not know that Stacks SIP 31 has passed with overwhelming ecosystem support. Over 97% voting yes to establish the Stacks endowment, fund it, and fund the growth of the ecosystem moving forward. This is a tremendous achievement with lots of effort, lots of engagement, lots of community reach out. Huge kudos to Alex Miller, Mitchell Cuevas, the authors of the SIP, the organizers of the SIP, and the people that participated. Like, this is very, very community oriented, very, very much reflecting what the community is looking for, and we're super excited. Next steps will be the establishment of the Treasury Committee and the entities, the operating entity, hiring people to run things, setting up the process for proposals and applications, and funding is expected to start in about 60 to 90 days for people that are ready for funding proposals and or applications. So be ready, start thinking about what you're going to build if you haven't. And I would actually suggest that you don't want to build a proposal about something to build. You want to start working on what you're building, working on what your idea is. Get some provenance, because I don't think they're funding ideas. Okay, I think they're funding proof of work, proof of concept. That's what they're going to look for. That's what I would be looking for if I was on the Treasury Committee. What have you already done? What have you already achieved? And if you're not there yet, get to work. There's lots to do. Lots of ways to prove yourself. There's also lots of opportunities in the Stacks ecosystem. The Stacks DeFi season, Z-League campaign, season 2 is underway. You can head over to stxdefi.com is the website to get more. There's over 50,000 STX up for grabs. Participation with Bitflow and Zest, Stacking DAO, and all of the Velar and all of the Stacks DeFi protocols are involved, lots of ways to earn some Zeely points and learn how to use the Stacks ecosystem. There's also some great opportunities over at Zero Authority DAO, where you can participate in bounties and earn stacks, RU, USDH, all sorts of other tokens, all sorts of opportunities over at Zero Authority DAO. Go check them out. We've got a lot going on, and I want to actually get back to the show here. So real quick, I'm just going to get a quick word for our sponsors. We are very fortunate to have some amazing marketing partners. One of them is Stacking DAO. Stacking DAO is the leading liquid staking platform for the Stacks network. Stacking DAO is changing the game by letting users earn up to 10% APY on their STX while keeping their assets liquid. Unlike traditional staking, their unique design means no minimums, and users start earning rewards immediately, so there are zero switching costs when moving from other stacking pools. Plus, you've got options. Choose to get your rewards in STX or SBTC, whatever fits your strategy. Start earning today. Head over to stackingdao.com and jump on in. Stacking DAO is where liquidity meets opportunity. We also have an amazing partner in Bitflow. Bitflow is the top DEX on Stacks, letting you aggregate prices letting you trade native BTC, STX, SBTC, USTC, runes, and more, all in one place by aggregating prices at Alex, Arcadico, and Valar. Recently, Bitflow rolled out flex pools, launching with STX to support liquid staking assets, and there you can actually, it's no ratio limit. You can deposit STX or STX into the pool. You don't have to worry about any impermanent loss. It's all right there for you at Stacking DAO. And I'm actually being told that I think there's more talking going on. They're back at the thing, so let me see what's going on.
Supplementary leverage ratio, or ESLR, and various other leverage ratio related capital requirements. In the notice of the proposal for rulemaking,
JPM,
the agencies have noted that this virtue of a simple and transparent rule has some unintended adverse consequences, the focus of which in the agency's proposal is the implications for intermediation in the U.S. Treasury market. So what the plan for this panel is that I'm going to ask some questions to the panelists, who I'm going to introduce in a moment, that we have teed up in advance. But in order to keep it lively and engaging, I'm going to get some candid reactions across the panel to each other's comments. And then I'm going to turn it over to you all for questions and answers. So prepare your thoughts and give us some challenging and useful questions, please. So to introduce the panel, to my immediate left is Tiffany Eng. Tiffany is the Global Treasurer of BNY, a financial services company and primary settlement provider for the U.S. Treasury market. Tiffany is a former OCC regulatory attorney. To Tiffany's left is Don Cohn, whom everybody knows, senior fellow at Brookings. Don is a former vice chair of the Federal Reserve Board and former member of the Financial Policy Committee of the Bank of England. To Don's left is Brian Montaleone. Brian is head of global investment grade credit research and senior bank analyst at Vanguard. Prior to Vanguard, Brian was a top-ranked credit analyst on the sell side, covering global financials for 20 years. And to Brian's left, Hal Scott, emeritus professor, Harvard Law School. Hal is also adjunct professor at Harvard Kennedy School and director of the Committee on Capital Markets Regulation. And finally, to the far left is Ben Wiener, partner in Sullivan and Cromwell's Financial Services and Capital Markets Groups. Ben advises banking organizations on regulatory capital, stress testing, resolution planning, and capital market transactions. So I'm going to ask Hal to set us off on first principles. Why do we actually have a leverage ratio rule? And what is the history of this requirement? Do we actually need a leverage ratio rule? And does the backstop rationale for that rule still apply today? Hal?
Thank you, Darrell, and the organizers of this conference. The leverage ratio sets, as you know, a minimum. Sorry. The leverage ratio sets, as you know, a minimum capital level for bank based on its total value of its assets, regardless of the riskiness of those assets. It operates in parallel with the risk-weighted standards, which set separate minimums that do vary based on riskiness. The theory is that without a risk-insensitive leverage ratio, a bank might be free to expand its balance sheet by acquiring riskless assets without limit. But this is not a realistic model of how banks operate. Banks seek to employ capital to the highest returning activity. So what is the history of this requirement? The basic leverage ratio was not adopted in concert with the other aspects of our capital regime as part of any integrated whole. It is a vestige of the pre-Basel era. So before Basel, all we had was a leverage requirement. And it was their finding fault with this leverage requirement that actually led us to risk-based capital. So indeed, with the introduction of Basel's risk-weighted approach, the banking agencies intended that risk-weight standards, not the leverage ratio, would take over as the primary determinant of a bank's capital. After the financial crisis, the largest banks were then subjected to the supplementary leverage ratio, and in the case of GSIBs, the enhanced supplementary leverage ratio, ESLR, which is a more stringent version of the SLR. Importantly, when the banking agencies implemented Basel I's risk-weighted standards in 1989, most commentators argued that the leverage ratio should be dropped because having two separate sets of capital requirements would be duplicative and unnecessary, and the risk-based one was better than the old leverage one. And the agency seriously considered doing away with the leverage ratio, but they ultimately chose to retain it. They were not confident in the accuracy of the novel and untested then risk weightings. And at the time, risk-weighted standards only accounted for credit risk, not market, operational, or interest rate risk, which was also an important part of thinking about bank capital. But we're far along now in the process. Here we are in 2025, and risk-weighted standards have evolved during this period of time. They have since their beginning been supplemented to incorporate market risk and operational risk, and now incorporate complex modeling that did not exist at the time of Basel I. Moreover, interest rate risk is continually monitored by bank examiners as part of the supervisory framework and could be incorporated into risk-based capital if you wanted to do that. We also have several other safeguards in the capital framework that did not exist at that time, like the stress testing regime. So there are strong arguments that the concerns that motivated the retention of the leverage ratio have been mitigated by subsequent enhancements and refinement of the overall capital framework. The leverage ratio is now a frequently binding requirement for the largest institutions, meaning that it requires more capital than the risk-weighted standards. This is inconsistent with the agency's original rationale for retaining the leverage ratio, which was that it would sort of be a backup for the insufficiency of the risk-weighted requirements. Bank capital levels, in conclusion, Harold, are at all-time highs now, well above what Basel and other jurisdictions required. I think we need to step back at this point, which is the whole purpose of this conference, and ask ourselves, with respect to the leverage ratio, not only focus on ESLR, but whether we need it at all. Thank you.
Thanks. Does anyone want to react? What about the issue of intersecting types of capital requirements? Does that cause problems when different banks are subject to different rules at different times? Any views on the panel?
Well, I can offer two observations about the role of the leverage ratio in the broader framework. One is just, I know this conference is primarily focused on large banks, but we do have the community bank leverage ratio for smaller community banks. So there can be benefits in having a leverage ratio for particular institutions. They could have a simpler framework. But I think also the fact that the leverage ratio is itself simple also illustrates one of its potential benefits. I mean, we've seen in stress periods, there's often a focus on simplified metrics. That was certainly the case during the financial crisis. To some extent, it was also the case during 2023. It wasn't necessarily the leverage ratio that was a focus, but there was a focus on things, metrics such as tangible common equity or others that are simple. So the simplicity of the leverage ratio, if it's properly designed and calibrated, could play a complementary role both for smaller banking organizations if they wanted to have a simpler framework versus the complexity of calculating risk-weighted assets, but also more generally to have a component of the capital framework that sort of the benefit of it is its simplicity, particularly in times of stress.
There's also the issue of assets that turn out to be more risky than they're modeled to be. And this is a backstop for that. So the obvious example from history is AAA subprime mortgage tranches, which weren't really AAA, but were modeled to be AAA, and capital held against them, and it was a disaster.
That was the bubble, right?
When you look at 2023, leverage requirements didn't necessarily catch the buildup in what seemed to be risk-free assets at some banks that ended up having trouble. So I think the important thing is, as Ben said, properly calibrated. And it's difficult to perfectly calibrate a risk-based or a leverage requirement in advance. So I think, vigilance and staying on top of, risk is ultimately the key. You can't just rely purely on, either of these. There's constantly new risks emerging. Something like CRTs, certainly growing in use, not very well, not great disclosure around it. It's just, I think staying on top of those risks as they come up is as important as where these are set.
So some support for the backstop principle. Tiffany?
If I can add to that, the leverage ratio is one piece of the puzzle. So banks are managing to capital, interest rate risk, liquidity, and all of those as part of a holistic risk framework is important. I think about stools on a table. Each leg needs to be strong. And so to Brian's point about interest rate risk management, that individually also needs to be a robust leg to keep the entire table stable. But the leverage ratio itself can't overcompensate and make up for any weaknesses in other areas of risk management.
Hal, did you want to react to any of the reactions to your comments?
No.
No? Okay. I sense a degree of alignment on the panel on this. Okay, Tiffany, you're the Treasury market expert. And as I mentioned, there's been a big focus on the unintended consequences for the Treasury market of this rule. So regulators have cited, in fact, in the proposal, Treasury market functioning as a key reason to recalibrate the leverage ratios. But is it better to lower the leverage ratios embedded in SLR or ESLR and the Tier 1 leverage ratios? Or would it be better to have a more targeted fix to address Treasury market functioning, like exemptions?
Thank you, Daryl. And let me kick off by thanking Vice Chair Bowman and the Federal Reserve for bringing us together today on this important topic. Let's spend a moment on Treasury market functioning. As a treasurer, that topic is so critical. We use treasuries for liquidity management, collateral hedging, and it's all linked to the Treasury market being the biggest, deepest, most liquid bond market in the world. Stands at close to 30 trillion today and growing. So supporting a resilient Treasury market is important for the broader financial system, which we're all invested in. There are two key tenets to that. One is safety and another is liquidity. In terms of safety, there are a range of enhancements already in flight, including the central clearing mandate. In terms of liquidity, supporting and deepening the
Look how
market
Powell's
for
face,
Treasury securities,
he didn't look,
which
he
is
looked a little
growing,
stressed.
is critical.
They just had him on the,
In our
on the
seat,
corner
knowing
there.
that a Treasury security can be converted to cash easily, quickly, and in all market environments is so important. And that's all predicated on an ecosystem of buyers, holders, sellers, intermediaries. And the intermediation of treasuries is particularly important in periods of stress.
Mohammed
At
El
BNY, we
Arian,
have a
who's
unique
on
vantage point
CNBC a
into the
lot.
treasury market.
He's
And we do see elevated treasury volumes.
I think
in
he was
periods
at
of
the
market
Fed. He
uncertainty
was
or
a
stress.
PIMCO CEO.
In those periods, the market is
He's
operationally
at
resilient,
Queensland
but we
College
have
in
seen
Cambridge.
periods of
He said,
funding
"I'll
market pressures or
step down
dysfunction.
to
And that tends to stem from an imbalance of buyers and sellers in the market. So it is exactly
being
in those
politically
moments
attacked.
where having intermediaries who
Like
are
I said, when we
ready,
were first looking
willing,
over the
able to
when we were
support
first
the
looking
treasury
over the
market
details
and
on
continued
the
liquidity in the market
morning
is most
whatever
critical.
space.
So that brings us to the topic here today, leverage reform.
It did seem
Leverage
like
ratios across the
the
supplemental leverage ratio as well as the
allegations
tier
he's
1
being
leverage
referred
ratio
over is a
in
little
their
bit.
current
Like,
construct
don't get me wrong,
can
you don't want to.
disincentivize
You never
banks from
want to
intermediating treasuries during those periods of stress,
ever
exactly when it's needed
testify
most.
wrong
And
information
another dimension to
to
this
Congress
is
or
typically
anywhere where
in
you're
those
under
periods
oath,
of
really.
volatility, there's also
And if you
heightened
did that,
balances typically of
problematic.
cash
But
or
that's not
deposits on bank balance sheets. So
that's
banks'
not
ability to act as a
likely
shock
going to
absorber for
result
both
in
cash
and of
and
itself
treasury
him being
securities
like
can be
charged and convicted of
constrained
a
by leverage ratios as they're constructed
serious
today.
to the point of
Now, the
to be
proposal offers
replaced.
solutions to that, and there are a couple flavors to that, and there
Orange
are
in the
considerations
house.
for each.
Good morning,
One
Orange.
flavor is to lower the
Yeah, we're
overall
actually
leverage
just covering
requirement,
I guess
and
there's
that does
a
create extra capacity
special
for
meeting,
banks.
a special
However, banks still
panel
have the
on the
discretion
Fed. I'm
on
not
how to
exactly
use that
sure
capacity, and
what
it may
motivated it.
not be
We
there
caught it
in a period
because
of
we
stress.
thought it was a little bit more
Another
with
flavor is to specifically target cash and treasury
Powell was
securities
referred for
and
charges to
exclude
DOJ
those particular
earlier today on
assets
some stuff
from
about
the leverage requirement.
you
And
know,
in that case, it's a more direct
misrepresenting
support
stuff
for
to
treasury
Congress under oath.
intermediation and for banks to act
Interesting.
as shock absorbers
So
for
you're
cash in
basically
those periods of
saying I
stress.
should prepare for the
Now,
world
I'll
to end.
posit that leverage reform
Prepare for the
is
what?
one facet
The
of
world
a
to end.
multifaceted approach to support
No,
market liquidity.
probably not. But
It
maybe
really
a new
goes in
Fed chair
harmony
coming
with public
soon,
and private
sooner than
Yeah,
later.
solutions,
probably.
including government facilities such as the discount window and
They're
the
turning
standing
the
repo
heat up,
facility,
is what's
as
going
well
on.
as private solutions, including recent innovations such as early morning repo or intraday repo. So taken together, as I take a step back as a treasurer, every day we're focused on resilience and we're managing a range of risk measures: capital, liquidity, interest rate risk, just as I mentioned. And that's just to name a few. And we're thinking about a wide range of scenarios. We like to say better to prepare rather than predict. If I extend that lens to reforms, and having reforms that are also supporting resilient treasury markets in a range of scenarios, that
So
really
just to
leans
kind of
towards
summarize
taking a
what this
holistic,
seems to be, and it's a lot of
proactive
there's a lot of
approach,
jargon here
looking
I
at
don't
all
quite
banks
understand.
and
I'm not an
targeting the
expert
risk
on
at
it, but
hand. And that'll help us
what I do
target
understand is
a
it sounds like
future
they're
shock,
talking about
because we all
capital
know that no two
requirement
stresses
for
look exactly the same. And so with
for
that holistic
holding,
and proactive
holding,
approach
borrowing,
and discussion is
maybe
exactly
even
the
lending
spirit
out
of this dialogue today.
treasuries,
Thanks, Tiffany.
and
This
and
issue
adjusting those requirements
exemptions
from where they
for
are
certain
now,
safe assets versus
probably
lowering
related, ultimately
of
related
the
to
leverage ratio number itself came up at our dinner table last night.
Why don't they
there was a
say
range of
just
views,
say
but rather than
only
trying to review
season
those,
is
I'd like
here,
to get the views of our
or
panel. So
I'll need to sell
how
within
about
the
a
next
quick,
few months, and we know what we
run of the
need to
panel
do.
on whether exemptions in addition to or as an alternative to
I mean,
the proposal
as the cycles
would
go,
be beneficial overall.
kind of probably
So
warrants that anyway.
I would be concerned about exempting treasuries because
Just
of the interest
the
rate ratio
jargon is
that
so
could be
much. It's
encouraged.
bullshit,
Banks
bullshit,
would
bullshit,
be
bullshit.
encouraged, I think, to take with just exempting treasuries entirely. Now, I'd like the alternative in the proposal for exempting treasuries in the dealer that are on the dealer's books that are marked to market and subject to the capital, the market capital requirements, but just
Good morning,
blanket
Billions
exemption of
DeFi. We will
treasuries,
make sure that
I
the
think would
game
would
master
raise
is
other
aware,
issues
and
that
if he
need to
can't
be
get you added to the wait list for this morning. We'll get you on
Yeah,
for
we're saying
tomorrow.
while the proposal creates significant capacity today, there could be future states of the world where ESLR became binding again, at least on some banks, and it would be helpful to have something countercyclical to offset that.
Nice. Vanguard is also on the table of the Fed.
I prefer the approach that was taken rather than exemptions, but I would say with respect to any of these proposals, we need better data on exactly what the impact of them would be on liquidity in the Treasury market in a crisis, given the fact that the dealers only account for, not a lion's share of this market to start with.
And Ben?
In terms of specific exposure exemptions, I think it's important to think about that in the context of the broader framework. We discussed earlier the fact that under the narrow exclusion, there would still be the market risk capital requirements, but also there are many other aspects of the regulatory framework. There are also many aspects of the supervisory framework. So looking at what else is there to address the concerns if there might be exemptions for specific exposures, more of a holistic view.
Yeah,
Thank you,
again,
Mr. Weiner.
I haven't been able to get much disagreement. There was an intriguing remark last night at our dinner table on the implications of exemptions for Treasury securities, which is that in the international financial stability framework, some other countries might be tempted to also depart from the general spirit of the SLR, exempt their own government securities, and in some cases that might have adverse implications for international financial stability. So I'm going to turn next to Brian, and I want to address the issue that's come up already, which Tiffany mentioned, which is resilience. That resilience of the Treasury market to events like March 2020 have been more prominent in the interagency working group papers on Treasury market reform than everyday liquidity. Do you think the proposed reduction in the ESLR is likely to improve Treasury market liquidity on normal days? Would the proposal improve Treasury market liquidity during a crisis? Is there an advantage, and I think you alluded to this a moment ago, to waiting for crisis conditions, as in March 2020, before lowering or exempting from the SLR?
Yeah, great. Thanks, Daryl. And also, thanks for having me here to speak today. I appreciate it. So I'd say Treasury market liquidity today, normal times, is generally working fine. You could look across a lot of measures, on the run, off the run, spread, market depth, swap spreads, futures basis, all kind of operating fine today. That said, banks are economic actors, and to the extent there was client demand and you had a significant increase in leverage exposure capacity under the proposal, then I think at least at some of the GSIBs there could be incremental capacity deployed to low RWA activity, which could on the margin improve liquidity on.
I do want to give a shout out to the Clarity Working Group.
Banks go out and buy a bunch
Normally
of
on every other Tuesday, we jump in and cover their space, their session, their live session, and it's always a great time.
You mentioned March
come up,
2020.
we're not expecting,
I
but
think
we will
that's
definitely
a
be
great example,
covering
right?
that
It seemed like
at
balance
their
sheet
next
constraints were
which will probably be
contributing
about 2
to
weeks.
a deterioration in market liquidity, and regulators stepped in, much to their credit, and provided temporary relief, and that helped facilitate a return to activity. So I think a SLR that is not regularly binding certainly could and should help reduce the likelihood of a dysfunctional Treasury market in periods of stress. That said, it's just one piece, Daryl. I know you've written and testified about a bunch of the other pieces, so it's not just the one silver bullet, but I do think it would be a helpful part of that process. And then in terms of that final part about is there advantages to kind of acting before or waiting, I do think it's helpful to have some countercyclical part of it. There's different ways to do that. There's the narrow exemption in the proposal. I think the Basel standard allows for exempting reserves in certain situations. Both of those have some advantages and disadvantages. You're picking winners and losers between low RWA type activities, which can cause some market distortions. You could bucket all low RWA activity together and exempt that as a group, but that could hollow out the rules, so you might need to change the requirements. There's different things to do there. You do a countercyclical buffer, or just wait for the next crisis. generally I would say the market doesn't like uncertainty.
What's up, homie?
And generally I would say it's maybe not great policy to be working on emergency measures. So to the extent that that path could be explained in advance, the market could discount it in advance, and I think it would lead to better market functioning.
How about some more views? What about this countercyclical approach? Should the agencies keep something in their back pocket ready to bring out during a crisis, or should they try to fix it once and for all? Anyone have a view on that?
What's got the money
Tiffany.
from?
Thanks, Daryl. I agree with Brian, and clarity and having the certainty in regulations is important, particularly as we're managing.
Big
our
fan of clarity
balance sheets
contracts
at
myself.
banks. We talk about looking at various different scenarios and
I knew the Fed
for
was
a range
on
of
it.
outcomes.
The Fed is on stacks,
In
guys.
those scenarios, we're
They
typically
talk about
not assuming
clarity
that there will
all
be
the
a
time.
change in regulatory requirements. And
Are you just
we,
saying that
banks
because of the
may
looks,
take action,
or
reduce
what's she
activity
saying?
in advance of a stress,
Well, clarity is.
expecting no
I was just being
changes.
facetious.
So the
Ah,
structural permanent
Clarity
changes, the
being
advance notice of
the
that
smart contract
helps
language
steer and
for stack.
incentivize the right
yeah,
behaviors in advance of a stress, and then reduces the need to make any ad hoc changes during the stress period.
Don?
So I've been a fan of the countercyclical capital buffer applied across capital regimes, risk space and leverage. We applied it at the Bank of England. Actually, I can't remember whether it was applied to leverage ratio. I'm looking over at Phil. It was applied to leverage ratio. I think a key, and I've advocated it and been rejected by the Federal Reserve many times. It's a familiar position, but I think the key is it's not just a one-way street that you have something you reduce in hard times. You have to make sure it's adequate in the good times, that you've got the capital high enough that if you release capital in bad times, leverage or risk space, that the banking system is still safe. So countercyclical in both directions.
Other views? If not, I'm going to move on and ask Ben a question. So Ben, the Federal Reserve Board staff has estimated a $210 billion decline of capital at the GSIB depository institutions, but does that matter for financial stability given the much smaller $13 billion projected decline in capital at the GSIB holding companies? What are your views on that?
Oh, thank you very much. It's great to be here today with everyone. When considered in the context of the broader large bank prudential framework, I think the financial stability implications of the difference are potentially positive. This is particularly the case in light of the GSIB resolution planning framework and the GSIB single point of entry resolution strategy, as well as the design of other Dodd-Frank Act enhanced prudential standards which focus on the holding company. The risk-based requirements are higher for the holding company than the bank, as you mentioned, and this reflects the fact that the GSIB surcharge and the SCB applied only at the holding company level. That, in turn, is itself illustrative of a key structural feature of the current large bank prudential framework, and that's a focus on the holding company. This is codified in Section 165 of the Dodd-Frank Act, and many hallmarks of the current large bank prudential framework are all holding company standards. Some examples would include supervisory stress testing, CCAR and then the stress capital buffer, internal liquidity stress testing, TLAC requirements for GSIBs, and then the joint FDIC and Federal Reserve resolution planning requirements. The proposal explains that it would do three main things. First, restore the ESLR to a backstop. Second, address the level and marginal regulatory incentives regarding low risk, low return, and higher risk activities. And third, provide the GSIBs more flexibility in the allocation of capital among their subsidiaries. I think the proposal would actually do three things beyond that. First, it would address the arguably anomalous role of the 6% bank ESLR requirement in the current prudential framework. That's a bank-level capital requirement that's calibrated to be higher than for the holding company, but based on the GSIB status of the parent. It's actually the exact opposite structure of the GSIB surcharge itself, which of course applies only to the holding company. Second, there would be more consistency in the overall design of prudential standards with a focus on the holding company. And third, there'd be more alignment with the resolution planning framework, and in particular the GSIB SPOE resolution strategy. Under that strategy, In the event of failure, only the top-tier holding company would enter insolvency proceedings. The subsidiaries would be resolved without entering into their own separate proceedings. That strategy depends on flexibility, specifically flexibility for the GSIB to provide capital and liquidity to the subsidiaries based on their needs and resolution from centrally available resources. The strategy, of course, also depends to some degree on pre-positioning, which entails having some capital and liquidity already at the subsidiary level. It's a balance between the two. So the proposal would therefore have greater consistency with the structural focus on the holding company. There'd be more alignment with the resolution strategy for GSIBs. And from that perspective, there'd be the perspective to potentially have reduced fragility and stress, promotion of the resolvability of GSIBs, and therefore positive financial stability implications.
Thanks very much, Ben. What about other reactions? Is the fact that the dollars of reduced capital at the holding company is small relative to the depository institution, is that important? Is there sufficient flexibility in capital in the structure of a bank holding company and its subsidiaries? What are your views? Hal, do you have a thought on this? Do you have a thought on this, Hal?
Yeah, so as you said, Daryl, the reduction of the depository level was much higher than the reduction at the holding company level. But I think we need to keep in mind the basic framework in which the holding company of a bank has to serve as a source of strength for the bank subsidiaries. So even though you are reducing the capital level at the depository institution subsidiaries, you have the holding company still with this obligation to support the subsidiaries. So I'm not that concerned because the holding company capital is not being reduced by very much at all.
Don, a thought?
Yeah, so I agree. The fact that the holding company capital is basically unchanged is reassuring. I do wonder about the source of strength thing, though. I mean, once the capital is upstream from the depository to the holding company, downstream to the broker-dealer, or if it's not downstream to the broker-dealer, it won't do any good, right? So presumably the intent of the authorities is to have it downstream to the broker-dealer. Then you have a crisis. You have something happens that no one's anticipated. Are they really going to take the capital back from the broker-dealer and give it to the depository institution? In 2008, the board was asked to vote several times on exemptions to upstream capital from the bank to the holding company to support the broker-dealer. So I think we need to think more carefully about whether the holding company would be actually a source of strength in a crisis situation.
Tiffany.
I think that all folds together to the fact that each bank is managing to multiple risk measures, capital being one, but liquidity, interest rate risk, and other measures will also support both the IDI as well as the holding company. So all of those various constraints ultimately inform how much could potentially be upstreamed or not. So there are additional constraints as part of a holistic risk framework that we are thinking of as well.
Thank you, Brian.
Yeah, I would just add, to Ben's point,
right.
The
It
resolution
is
framework for
about
single point of
time
entry
for
is meant to
Find2Earn
capture
rounds.
sufficient
So I'm
liquidity
going
and
to
capital
end
at
the coverage
intermediate
of
holding
this
company to avoid the situation
panel.
that Don
It
is
is
talking about.
interesting. A
Can
little
it
more
effectively
high
do
level
that?
than I think we
It's
were
not clear.
expecting.
Disclosure's not
The
great in that area. So
conversation
another
being,
area where it might be
but,
helpful to have more
I don't think there's
robust
any
discussions around that to
more
give more
like
confidence to more participants
surprise
that actually could.
moments in this.
And that's
Yeah,
about
we're
resolution.
going to
So you're
transition
in a
out of this, go
situation
back to
where you're
fun, and
managing
we'll get
failure.
a
So
quick word
it'd
from
be
our
nice to
sponsors.
prevent the
We'll be
failure
back
in the
with
first
Find2Earn
place.
rounds momentarily. Stay tuned. It is time. The Game Master is here in his true form. How are you today, sir?
Dear mortals, as eternal as ever.
Let's
Let
go.
the
We
hunt
have
begin.
awesome. We have 5 rounds plus our jackpot round coming up. First rule of Find2Earn, you must share out the live stream. Chads share out the live stream. We know all of our hunters are Chads. Share out the live stream. Make sure your friends know it is time to Find2Earn. We have a jackpot round that we are launching at the start of the game rounds now. And I have, whoops, I'm in the wrong one. There we go. I have that image here ready. I'm just copying the link. We will display this on the screen momentarily. And this is your opportunity to get an edge. You turn in at the beginning of the show and you get the words on the jackpot round. You get the image, you get the location, and all you have to do is find it during the whitelist rounds and you guys are good to go. So I'm going to share my screen, show you guys that image. This is what you're looking for. That's a lot of wood. The Game Master does not play. And here is your starting coordinates. You do not need that link. You can actually just go with that 47.085381, comma 7.584673. That'll give you that starting location. From there, you are looking for this very, very thorough pile of wood. That'll get you through the winter. I don't care where you're at. And good, because they probably need it. The greenies may not care for it. It's a little carbon non-neutral. But that's okay. I'm not that worried about it. I think the Earth can actually handle it a little bit better than they let us believe. But this is what your starting location. This is the image. If you're going to participate in the jackpot round early, screenshot this now because we're not putting it back up until the end of the other rounds. So this is your chance. We'll give you 10 seconds and it'll be gone. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Good luck, hunters. Let's go.
GP, you want to share the jackpot or the early rounds? Or you want me to?
I'll pull up my screen.
Cool. JP is going to bring up his screen. We have the whitelist rounds starting. We have whitelist rounds for new players. It's to give everyone a chance to learn how to play in a fun way. It's really great. If you guys haven't played, it's super easy. It doesn't cost you anything but a little bit of time, fun, and you have to have you have to know how to use Google Maps. And if you don't know how to use Google Maps, this might be a good way to learn because it's a tremendous tool for humanity. We're just making games with it.
Yeah, we explore our planet.
It's really actually very interesting. You can actually get a lot of perspective from Google Maps.
Yeah, I found a lot of different places that I want to travel to playing this game.
Yes, indeed. It's a very interesting paradigm, what's going on in the world right now. The general.stx has asked to be added to the whitelist. We have a few others, but I'm not sure if there's room on today's whitelist, so you might have to wait until tomorrow's.
So we are on the Skullcoin BTC account waiting for the whitelist round to be launched. Let's check it out.
So make sure you like and repost the game round. And you make sure you like and repost the live stream, and then the game round.
Right here. If you're on the Skullcoin BTC account, it's this right here.
Just count down and we start.
All right, countdown. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come on, Scott!
Go, Kamaskan! So now we're refreshing.
First game and one more at least game.
All right, we are looking for a Roo in the back of a looks like some type of horse trailer of some sort.
It's a
Or
root.
that's a root trailer. That sure is, if I've ever seen one. I can't tell if these guys are friendly or not. They're friends or if they're arguing there in the background. Looks like we're on the side of the road here. So I'm going to copy these coordinates. Go to Google Maps. I can click this link. It'll take me straight to Google Maps, the starting location. Replace my screen. Show that. Alright, so this is our starting location. Got a little pin here. We are looking for a room on the side of the road. These houses right here look familiar.
You guys, you whitelist players, make sure you like and repost the game round. Huge fan of RuCoin, by the way. RuCoin is an amazing community project. They're always innovating, building new stuff. There's some really interesting stuff coming soon. If you do not have a Stacks Invader NFT, you might want to check those out. If you do not have any runes, you might want to pick some up. There's going to be more stuff coming on the ordinal side. So runes is not just on Stacks. It is a Bitcoin cross-platform product, project, and community. And there's no one better than the Rue Brews. You need to get into the Rue Brew community. By the way, somebody's got to send me a link to the new Rue Discord channel. I need to get in there. I totally forgot yesterday. I probably should just look it up.
I'll drop it.
Yeah, and we play one more whitelist round, and other round will be open for everyone.
Yes, that's right. So the whitelist rounds, the jackpot round is open for everybody. And then we have 3 open rounds after the whitelist rounds for everyone to participate, including those that are on the whitelist. You're not excluded from the open rounds as well. Fikri, very good. Very good. Good morning, Fikri. How are you today? Yes, and congratulations to all of our winners. I think we do.
Winner is imeet.btc. He was the first. Congrats. And we continue. We're launching one more whitelist round game for just new players, new followers of Skullcoin. If you want to be in whitelist, just follow Skullcoin. The price of this game 50,000 Leo. It's $20. It's a big price. You have just to spend like 15 seconds. Okay, and I will count down. Get ready, everyone. Who in whitelist and you are a new follower of our project of the organized show. We start in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go.
Let's go.
You have to find this chart. And the other 4 rounds will be open rounds for everyone.
Very nice. Huge fan of the Leo coin community, another great community meme coin project founded by Rubes, also the founder of stxtools.io, great place to go to get research on the tokenomics of tokens available on Stacks. And Leo coin has a great projects, the Leo Art Pass, the Leo Art Collective, the Leo Cats NFT project, and of course their coin has been seeing some great momentum, partly because of the Bitflow barn promotion, where they're giving amazing yields for putting your Leo coin in the liquidity pools and farming those yields over at bitflow.finance. Some great opportunities for Leo holders there. Check Leo out.
Right.
It looks like we're in front of a church of some sort. Got a very churchy.
It's definitely a little churchy.
Okay, let's launch the open round for everyone.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Everyone can play, just you have to find this solution. It will be easy.
Weird. checking out.
So we're back on the Spellcoin page and we're waiting.
Okay, we start in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go.
Let's go. Happy hunting.
Good luck.
Try to get this one.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to jump in on this one.
We got some Flat Earth available. Make sure you guys like and repost the game round. Very important. The more players we get, you guys need to look at this as a non-zero sum game. The more players we get, the more game rounds we can do, the more prizes we provide, the more opportunities for you to find to earn there are. So if you want better prizes, you want more games, share out the live stream, go tell your friends, get them in here to come play with us.
We're looking for this Flat Earth. Looks like we're in between a gate of some sort. I'm looking for a gate.
A gate, but just grass. That's interesting.
Yeah, it's on the same street, you know, like. Let me check. Maybe somebody just found it.
Probably got a winner already. We got some great players here.
Yeah. Looks like we
definitely got some dads playing this game.
I definitely found it, but I don't think I found it first.
People found different gates. It was very funny.
So is it
find the right one?
Who found it?
Check who was first. Okay, the first was a Fikri.
Fikri was ready to play.
Let's go. Big dubs. Congrats.
Okay, everyone get back. In 1 minute we play.
Yeah, get back. We're going to launch the next game round. Huge shout out to Flat Earth, Silky Jones. It's a great project. Awesome vibes. Really looking forward to some of the collabs that they're working on. They're working on some game stuff with UAP and the meme coin crew. Really excited about stuff that's coming from Flat Earth. Go check them out. Get yourself a bag. Not financial advice, by the way. Just fun meme token advice.
So we're going back to the Skullcoin BTC page and waiting for the next round.
Okay, we're ready. Wanna count down?
I'll do one. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go.
Oh, let the hunt begin.
Bitcoin Pepe is the only Pepe coin you need to know about. The orange frog has the most vibes. It was an earlier token than the green Pepe on Ethereum, which is also an okay token, but there's nothing like the Bitcoin orange Pepe frog and the mad vibes that come out of that crew. Check out Bitcoin Pepe.
He is the proof of work Pepe. I mean, he's always got a job. He's always working. He's got his work boots on right now. He's going to get a chicken. Probably going to feed his family. Yeah, based individuals. We are looking for a place that sells chicken. Check on the side of the street. Pollo San Juan.
Okay, we have a lot of players who found. Congrats, everyone. The winner is Sir Cunilingus.
Sir Cunnilingus, he has not been around in a while. What is up? Congratulations.
Hey, we onboarded him. Let's go. We get the location. Drop below.
Yeah, Reese, I love Flat too. I love the vibe. I love all of our meme coin sponsors, actually. We're very, very fortunate to have such a great community of all sorts, you know, a very diverse community. We have awesome DeFi. We have super smart technical people building some really robust infrastructure. And we have the best community with the best vibes. And, you know, all of our meme coins, it's not PvP. Like the Rubrus are the Leo guys, are the Welsh Corgi guys, are the FlatEarth guys. Like they're all the same. The STX AI guys are the same as the Fact Fun guys. Like they're the community. Not everyone is part of every community, but they're all intertwined and interconnected and very much collaborative whenever there's an opportunity. It's like working with us, like supporting these games. We are very, very fortunate to have what we have here on Stacks. Building on Bitcoin, by the way.
Okay, we are ready for launch the last round before the jackpot. It's a STXAI round. Like always, you have to find the right angle of this building. It will be orange skyscraper. Be ready. I will count down. We launch in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go.
Let's go.
Let's go. Oh, is it really an orange building? Huh.
Find the right angle. Yeah, it's an orange one.
I like it. I like it. So we got to find the orange building. You got to find the right angle, guys. Don't just find the building and then take a shot. Be selective. Make sure you're getting the right angle.
Anyone? Just you can just share how you searching.
What the heck? I ended up in some kind of restaurant or something when I dropped.
Yeah, we just see the Skullcoin page.
We are looking around in Moscow.
We have a lot of comments, but you have to find the orange building.
Found the building. I think I found the building. I don't know if I have the right angle. I'm too close, and I can't walk around.
Yeah, okay. The irony of this game, we have a winner, and you know who is it?
It's orange. It's definitely orange. I found the building. I could not find the right angle, but I'm going to share it anyway, just because.
Yeah, orange is close. He's like 2 steps from this angle.
Orange has probably been there.
Yeah, last night in the dreams.
This is Orange's house.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wish.
Powerful Mercury. Okay. And we are close to jackpot round. Everyone get ready. We give you the clue. The price is 30 stacks. It's almost like 30 bucks. I believe.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Easy money.
Easy money. It'll be more tomorrow. It'll be more in a year from now for sure. There's no chance. Not financial advice, just me swaggering and bragging about my choices. Always do your own research. All right, so that is, I don't think we have a winner for the jackpot round yet. Or was that wasn't the jackpot round, right? Or did we get it?
Yeah, we don't. So we'll give you the clue, right? Chat, you wanted the clue? Mortals. Or you wanna like just dive the Switzerland more and explore it? Okay.
Yeah, I don't see any winners under the live stream or any guesses under the live stream. So it looks like we do need a clue.
Okay.
We can implement that if you found it during the games, that you have to send in a message within the live stream that you have found it.
Right, you have to make a comment underneath the live stream so that it's there with a timestamp, because we can't do the chat. The live chat isn't always exactly lined up.
No, exactly. But if you say, I have found it under the comments, but also in chats, so you know when to look.
Yes, it would be helpful to give us a notice in the live chat so we know that you have found it. It would make it a less awkward transition.
Exactly, and also people.
Yeah, we are testing. It's anyway like 1 more week until August. We'll test it and we gather feedback, and if there will be a good reviews, or we will keep it. If there will be only bad reviews and if people want to change, we will change. Okay, we launched jackpot run. Who want to count down? Orange, can you count down?
Yes, of course. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Go, 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 go.
Go. The jackpot run. We drop you the clue. You have to go from the price.
Southeast.
Let's go. And is wood.
The game master's taking you out to the woodshed. Make sure you like and share the game round.
Okay, we give you like 5 minutes. Let's go. If nobody will win for 5 minutes, we will move this price tomorrow. Anyone can play, everyone can win, because like any person can win here. It's an easy game. It's a fair competition. You just explore the world, and anyone can win like in like 10 seconds. Just drop yellow pegman on Google Street View and be lucky. Or you can just realize where it can be, understand the patterns. Good luck, everyone.
Good luck, hunters.
It's not so close to starting location. It's not near the city, obviously. It's a far from starting location. Remember, everyone. Jackpot rounds is difficult. It's so far from the starting location.
But you could get lucky.
Just remember, if you think you are far, you are not far enough.
Good to know.
That narrows it down to almost infinite possibilities.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just can give everyone clue who following the organized show, so it will be so far from the starting location, and it will be a long road.
A long road.
When does a road stop? When does it become short? What is life?
I mean, alone, it means like there is no roads around it.
Oh, a lone road.
Alone. Like alone,
like a lonely road.
Lonely road, yeah. Like Edgar Allan Poe. Lonely person. Lonely road.
I found a lonely road, but I can't drop my Pac-Man on it, so it can't be it.
I think I found it.
You think you found it? Drop it. Did you drop it?
Really?
Did.
No, not this one.
Oh, wrong wood pile.
I hate when I get the wrong wood pile.
Damn it, dude. That's a good looking wood pile, too.
I've heard that before.
Yeah, that's a good wood.
Give you like 2 more minutes and yeah,
All right,
it's road so far from any like buildings, from any like town.
Oh, I got some more wood.
I think I found it.
Let's go.
Found it? I don't know. I'm not sure.
Just drop it. See if it is.
I don't think it's actually the right one.
Yeah, the one
No,
we're
I don't
looking
think-
for has like plywood over the top of it.
Yeah, I don't think I found the right one. Similar. I'm going to share it anyway, but I know this is wrong. Just happy to have found some wood, you know?
Found some wood, yeah. Proof of work. Let's go. I found this wood. Oh, it's the wrong wood. Alright, so I just got back to this. So I'm going
Yeah, I don't think mine's the right one, but
Yeah, okay, we give 1 more minute and done for today. We move the price tomorrow. It's far from starting location, as I mentioned before, but it's like things when the price goes for the next day, it gives opportunity everyone to see it's a fair competition. AI cannot solve this. Nobody like cannot bot it. So it means like that if there is no winner, this is just for the humans, and we're still waiting for the person who won. And if nobody will win, we just move the price tomorrow. Okay, I just checking the last ones, and I dropped the, no, it's not the right, but a lot of woods. Yeah. Anyways, you just like walk around the Switzerland, have fun. Okay, I dropped the right location, and the price goes for tomorrow. Let's go.
Let's go.
Let's go. Let's see where this is.
Everyone can check how far it was, but we give you the direction.
That's far away.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that sucker's far.
Okay, tomorrow we make it easier. And tomorrow we'll want to see the winner. It will be 40 stacks. Everyone come back tomorrow. The price will be real.
I'm just checking. Just checking the location. I think I was in the general vicinity. Oh, maybe not.
Yeah, never in my life I would have found that.
Wow.
36 miles from.
That's an endorsement for how challenging that round was, sir.
Yeah.
Another fine round of Find2Earn. Thank you all for playing today. We really appreciate you all coming out. We really appreciate the Game Master and all he does, all the work he puts into giving us these opportunities to have fun and engage on a daily basis. Guys, we actually got a chance to play around with the seed phrase game mint process. Very fun, very smooth. It was super fast, by the way.
Yeah, we will drop also like this stacks testnet to Orange and to some new community members once we just upload all the words, the test words. And also I want to talk to Rafu, to Roser, maybe they will have to alternative marketplace, because like the trading will be the biggest thing. And also like, this exchange swap of NFTs, maybe it's like it was a Neo swap platform.
So you need a NFT swap marketplace spun up.
Yeah, it's like one-on-one just to change the NFTs. Maybe people will play like this. We'll see.
The big group chat.
Like it. Maybe even put a chat forum on there or something.
Yeah, I can see it.
I wonder if Miholko, Mike Cohen's development might be an interesting plug-in there. Got that forum functionality he's working on. Awesome stuff. Super excited about Find2Earn. That was very fun, even though I didn't win. Thought I was going to for a minute. I really thought I found it for a second, but it wasn't the right one. Wasn't even actually close, even though I was very far away. But I love these games. I love engaging. I love how much interactivity and engagement we're getting. By the way, we had about 4,000 viewers coming into the show, and we picked up about 800 while we were playing the games. So excellent momentum on the show today. If we could get the Fed to drop some breaking news every morning, I think we'd really be onto something. But
yeah,
unfortunately, I don't think we have the kind of juice to move the Fed on a daily basis yet. But we will keep trying. Any last words?
So we got the Stacks DeFi show that just started So you can go to @Stacks and find the Stacks DeFi show and figure out what's going on with all the major protocols within Stacks. And later today, around 1 p.m. ET, we're going to be doing the weekly screen share in the Stacking DAO Discord. So get in there. We have a based activity schedule, have a lot of fun activities where you can earn different assets like STSDX. And have some fun with us.
Right on, right on. Get into the Stacks DeFi show. Get it. Hermetica Hangout is scheduled for this afternoon too. Check that out. Get into the screen share in the Stacking DAO Discord. Art on Stacks at 3 p.m. Get out for that. We got Learn TA with Landy at 1, and the nightly show with GP at 7 p.m. Is that on tonight, or you got football tonight?
I got flag football today, coaching flag football. But Monday, Wednesday, and Friday is the nightly.
All right.
Okay.
We're gonna see maybe getting a spot co-host as we can sort that out. So no nightly show tonight.
Right on.
GP is gonna be Uncle Coach GP.
Uncle Coach, at your service. Let's go.
Let's go. Thank you, Zenny. Looking forward to the game, the new game, the new stuff, and always the constant iterations. Looking forward to some feedback on how we're doing the jackpot round, by the way. I actually think it's been working well. So I like the way we're doing it, but I'd love to know if you guys have any issues. I think dropping it at the beginning of the show just adds an opportunity for people to play if they want to. It's challenging. It's hard. You have to make a decision. Do I want to participate in the other rounds and all of that? But I want some feedback. Let us know how you think, how it's gone for you. Orange, always a pleasure, my man. Thank you for joining us. The show's better with you than it is without you, for sure.
That's a hug for my heart. Thank you.
Good. I want you to come back because you make I dig the perspective. I dig the conversation what you add to the conversation is good stuff. So please,
I appreciate that.
Anytime you're available, you're always welcome. And with that, what's that?
I said, yeah, come chop it up, man.
Yeah, always. Yes. I am PeaceLoveMusic. We are DeOrganized Media coming at you live on Bitcoin Live Decentralized Broadcasting every Monday through Friday, bringing you all the news, entertainment, games, experiences, fun, some information, never financial advice, but everything else. Thank you for joining us today. You all have an amazing day. Peace out.